Hi there, YouTube, and hi, United States of America. This is especially addressed to you, the land of the free. You know what this is? This is my social health card. This gives me access to any kind of medical treatment that I need through my entire life. From I am an infant till the day I die. Let's say I get in a car accident. I break my leg. Ambulance comes and picks me up. Drive me to the hospital, to the emergency room, where they take a look at my leg, x-ray it, operate it, put it in a cast or a stretch, lets me lie in a bed there for some days until I'm well and fit to go home. You know how much I'd pay for it? Not a fucking dime. Not even a bent nickel. Nothing. And you know, makes me feel good that this applies to my neighbor, to everybody in Denmark, even the homeless guy on the street. Applies to everybody. Even you, dear American, if you come here and work on a green card, you also get this yellow card. Even if you only are working here for 6 months. So, if anything happens to you, anything at all, this is for you too. And you know what? I paid for it. Me. And everybody else here in the country. Through taxes. Which I might add here in Denmark are sky high. Actually the highest in the fucking world. On the whole fucking planet. Nobody is paying more taxes than we do. Nobody. And you know what? I don't mind. Because what is left after the taxes, even though when I work I don't have a very well paid job, it is like, how should I put this so you won't get shocked? 4 to 5 times higher than a waitress at a diner in the United States. You know what? I don't have an education. Not bad, eh? It's not socialism. Universal healthcare has nothing to do with socialism. It has everything to do with moral conscience and with social conscience. We want to take care of everybody. We don't want somebody to be left in the street bleeding to death because he doesn't have the right insurance. And you call yourself a Christian nation? How Christian is it to let somebody die on the street because they can't afford a doctor or a hospital? How Christian is it that somebody has to sell their house, their home, for themselves and their children because they got an illness? Is that Christian? If it is, you just gave me another reason to be an atheist. And no, doctors here are not pressured into doing anything they don't want to do. Doctors here make a fucking bundle of money. even though they're employed mostly by me, the public. A doctor makes just about 3 to 4 times more than I do as a driving technician. And I mean, he deserves it, or she. They fucking deserve it. You know, there are 2 kinds of doctors here in Denmark that are the majority. Maybe there's a couple of percent that is not like this, that are only in it for the money. But the other 2 kinds, they sort of overlap each other. There's one kind who gets to be a doctor because he or she are curious and like to figure out how the body works, how we work, what makes diseases do what they do. And at the same time, they get an education that helps cure people. That makes them feel good about themselves. The other kind of doctor starts out with being a doctor because he or she wants to help people. Along the way, they learn a lot about how to do that. And it fucking works. Unbelievable. But it does. And this whole thing about public hospitals and no competition, and you think that's a bad thing, I can tell you one thing, it's a fucking good thing. Because the way we do it here is that we have very strict laws to take care of that side of the matter. And we have another thing that you, from what I can see on news and the way you talk about healthcare and government, we have something you lack. We have trust. In my country, trust the people working for the government. Don't trust the government, they're just politicians, they're all full of shit and lies. But most of the people under them, working in different departments, controlling hospitals, doctors, taking care of the roads, all of them, mainly we trust them to do their job, to do what we pay them for. We don't pay unbelievably high wages to them, because there's this little thing about Denmark that is different from the United States, I think. I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure. One of the things is that here in Denmark, 50% of the people working, they love their job. They can't wait to get out of bed in the morning to go to work. And then there's around 40% who are satisfied with their jobs. They might not be totally happy with it, but they're pretty satisfied. The last 10%, well, they humble from one job to another, and, well, you know why it is like that here? You know why 50% of the people here love their job, and why 40% are satisfied and actually pretty satisfied with their jobs? Education. Education. Because education here is fucking free. Anybody can get an education. And they can get any education they want. And while they're at university, after they turn 18, we even give them money to live for. Not a lot, but enough so they can pay their rent and don't have to work their asses off while they're studying, to give them time to read and study, to be good at what they do. And then we give them a very cheap loan also. That is a possibility. If you get this little subsidy from the state to pay for your rent and stuff, it's not much. It's maybe around $800 a month. And you can't get by on that. But you have 2 more options. One is you can work part-time. And minimum wages here are like 4 to 5 times higher in the United States, even though the cost of living is the same. That is one thing you can do. The other thing is you can do is that you can take out a loan, a state loan, which is very, very cheap. And you could take out enough so you don't have to work at all while you're studying. You have to pay the money back. You also have to pay the subsidy back. But you can pay it back over 30, 40 years, 10 years, depending on what kind of job you get when you're done and what kind of wages you get. Isn't that amazing? Imagine 90% of the people being pretty satisfied with their jobs, and 50% of them really loving their jobs, wanting to go to work, can't wait till they get up in the morning. Wow. Peace, and don't panic.